This is my first time in Jodhpur and I've learned something, and that is exactly how I want to start today. Khamma Gani Jodhpur. My name is Chinmay Prabhu, and for nearly a decade now, I've immersed myself in the fascinating sport of speed cubing. In 2015, I had a friend who could solve a Rubik's Cube. I was so fascinated by the way he was turning that Rubik's Cube. I thought to myself, how could I learn that? I bought a Rubik's Cube from Marketplace and started watching the online tutorials. The satisfaction of solving my first ever Rubik's Cube was unparalleled because it came after days of relentless attempts, watching countless online tutorials, and with a constant fear of messing up the cube, necessitating a restart. So once I learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube, I wanted to enter the speed cubing game. For all of y'all here, I love to define what speed cubing is. Basically, participants from worldwide compete in competitions across all age groups to basically solve the puzzle in the fastest time possible. Now, stepping into my first speed cubing competition was an eye-opening experience. Entering the competition, surrounded by a sea of participants, breaking records and solving the puzzle with lightning speed, I couldn't help but feel a sense of shock. Many were younger and, to be honest, much more better. Here I was just making a start. What could I do? I wanted to, I always wanted to stand out. I wanted to be somebody who's known for cubing. And here my reality was different. There were so many who were better than me. In one of these competitions, while just attending and trying to be better at every competition, I overheard somebody talk about the Limca Book of Records. So again, I was very curious to know what this Limca Book of Records is. I tried searching on the internet and came to know that Limca Book of Records is a book for national records. So whatever national records are established, they go into the Limca Book of Records. And there existed one record, that was to solve the mirror cube blindfolded. Now mirror cube is just like a regular 3x3, that is the Rubik's Cube, but same colors on all six sides. Again, same color on all sides, so what makes the cube different? The difference is the shape changes and you have to bring it back into the same cube shape. And not just that, I have to solve it blindfolded. The record existed was to solve the mirror cube blindfolded. The current existing record was something around 4 minutes 40 seconds. I tried learning how to solve the mirror cube. It took me nearly 2 months to understand how to solve the mirror cube. I started learning how to solve it blindfolded. It took me another 7 months for that. 9 months in total. I went onto the stage to attempt to break that record. And in my very first attempt, again, the target was 4 minutes 40 seconds. In my very first attempt, I ended up solving it in 1 minute 31 seconds, setting a national record. Thank you. So like every other teenager, what I did is, once I received the certificate, I started to post it on the internet. Posting it on Instagram, posting it on Facebook, everywhere. And a lot of comments started to pour in. Mostly congratulating, but also some people hinting me towards Guinness World Records next. Now, Guinness World Records is a name that I've heard, you've heard. It's a big title. But clearly, I didn't feel that I have what it takes to get into Guinness World Records. One fine day, I thought, what if I merge two things together to get into Guinness World Records? Back in my school days, we all have summer camps, right? So, I learned how to swim, I learned how to skate, I learned football in those summer camps. So I wanted to bring the worlds of swimming and cubing together. I came up with a title to solve maximum number of pyramids puzzles. That is just the triangular version of Rubik's Cube underwater in a single breath. I got a confirmation from Guinness that I can go ahead with the record. And to beat the current world record, I will need to solve 4 or more puzzles. At this stage, I was very confident because in the first attempt, I've got it in the national record. Easily, I can do it. When I went to practice, it was complete opposite. It took me nearly 2 months of practice to even solve one puzzle underwater. Because you have to sit underwater You have to constantly solve the puzzle. Your oxygen is consumed more. You can't hold your breath for longer. So I trained for that and attempted the record for Guinness World Records. The evidences were sent to Guinness World Records, and I received an email saying disqualified. There it was. Even before I started to make a world record on my name, my journey came to an end. I thought, what could I do? What went wrong? The email read, one of the many guidelines that were provided was not properly followed. I was very aggressive. I didn't know what to do. I've spent couple of days, rather months, in swimming pool, and it was difficult to accept that I failed. I used all of this aggression to go back to the pool site. This time, it was even more challenging since the result came in just before monsoon. So I went in during monsoon, during winters, and the water used to be ice cold. But nothing could stop me. I was too aggressive and I really wanted to get the title on my name. I attempted the record. The target was same. 4 puzzles to be solved underwater in a single breath. On the day of attempt, I entered the swimming pool, sat underwater, holding my breath for 1 minute 48 seconds, not solving 1, 2, 3 or 4, but rather 9 puzzles, setting a world record. Thank you. So post this, I realized there is a difference in Guinness World Records and Limca Book of Records. When I got the certificate from Limca Book of Records, I was very happy to see my name on a national record. This time it was different. I was more happy to see the name India on Guinness World Record certificate. I wanted to get going. I wanted more records on my name. So we could, in my way, I could contribute to bringing glory to India. Came up with another idea. How about I solve most number of these pyramids puzzles again, but this time on land. Now again, on land would make it just another competition. So I thought maybe I could ride a bicycle around. I approached Guinness World Records for the same, and they gave me a target to solve 111 puzzles this time. It was a big number. I was expecting somewhere around 25, 30, since nobody had the record on the name, but the initial target was 111 puzzles to be solved. Again, month was set, it was due in August, and it was raining heavily. So in the practice sessions, I always ended up injuring myself. Up to a point where my mom dad told me on my face that Chinmay might as well not attempt the record, you're injuring yourself too much. Didn't stop there. Went on, and the target was 111. On the day of attempt, I ended up solving 176 puzzles, setting second Guinness World Record. At this point of time, I was completely unaware that the video of my first Guinness World Record is going viral in many countries. I got a call from Europe. There's a country, Romania. They called me saying, Chinmay, we would love to feature you in our show. We want to show our audience the new uprising talent of India, and maybe that could inspire our Romanian audience. I was up for it. Now think of it, from failing to first Guinness World Record, falling down multiple times, was nothing compared to the pride that I had when I walked up to the stage and introduced myself as, hello everybody, my name is Chinmay Prabhu and I've come all the way from India. The audience were very curious to see what was being there, because on the stage, we had a glass tank filled with water. I went on, performed really well, got 3 S's, was about to fly back again for the next round. I came back to India and the year was 2020, the start of 2020. We had the pandemic. Again, everything came to a stop. Every time I see something going up, it had to come down. The country, the world came to a stop. The show stopped. I got invitations from other show. I couldn't fly because the flights were stopped. I got invitations for virtual auditions, which means I could sit here in my swimming pool and show it to them, attempt it right here from my home. Couldn't do it. The BMC had restrictions on swimming pools also, because what if I enter the swimming pool and contaminate the water? So everything was very low for the 2 years, from 2020 to 2022. I thought to myself, now I have to make a comeback. It's not like the end. The world is back after pandemic. Why am I not getting back? Now, my curious mind went in direction of what next? I have solved it underwater. I've solved it on land. I don't want to repeat same things. I want to entertain the audience as well. I come up with the idea of solving it in free fall during a skydive. Now, I don't come from a wealthy background. I cannot be attempting multiple times. So I start watching videos on the internet. They say you need to maintain a banana pose. I just wanted to imagine how would I hold on to the puzzle. I took a chair and practiced the bananas pose at home. It hit my mind that if I'm solving it and the wind pushes the puzzle at 200 kilometers an hour, it's going to slip out. If the puzzle slips out, the attempt is disqualified, but the bigger pain would be what if it hits somebody on the ground? I couldn't risk it for my personal achievement. So I thought maybe I could hold it in a position where no matter how much the speed would be, I would not let go the puzzle. So instead of holding it straight, I held it in another direction so that the wind would push it only against my hand. I found a location. We had a word on how the guidelines are and how do we communicate further for the attempt. While I was preparing, I got a call for a corporate show. They wanted me to showcase my talent there, maybe inspire some of their employees. So I went there, and day one was rehearsals. I finished my rehearsals, and I just thought, wait, this is in Goa. This is a bungee jumping site. I've never done skydiving before. I've never done bungee jumping. What if I try bungee jumping first, only to experience how it feels to fall down at such high speed? I call up the manager there, and he comes up with another idea. He's like, Chinmay, we'll give you permission, jump with the puzzle in hand. See if you can hold it. We went a level up. I said, let's do one thing. I know what guidelines are there to be followed. We will follow all the guidelines, and so I'll try to solve the puzzle after I jump. He said, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Why not? So I went up to the bungee jumping site. I'm standing on the edge, and I'm very afraid, to be honest. I asked him, like, are you sure like it is safe? And he said, yeah, it is safe until now. We can't guarantee what comes next. And we've made you sign that thing that we are not responsible. I immediately thought, oh, I should have just waited for my skydive attempt and not done this. He says, 3, 2, 1, go. I jump. Once I'm completely upside down, I open the box and I end the attempt so quickly. I try to solve the puzzle as fast as I can. To my surprise, that day I ended up solving the puzzle in 7 seconds, which made it to the Guinness World Records. Now, this was something that came out of the box. I never planned for bungee jumping. Maybe the universe has a way to reward you for all the losses. Now comes my biggest challenge, to solve the puzzle in free fall. So the way attempt would go is I sit into an aircraft. We fly at 13,000 feet, and the instructor would open the door. We take the jump, and I don't start solving the puzzle because I am not allowed to carry the puzzle with me. The puzzle was carried by another instructor, which had to be passed mid-air. I jump out, try to snatch the puzzle out of that person's hand. First attempt, I missed. And I don't have multiple attempts. I went in again to grab a hold, I missed. The third time, I don't know what happened to me. I pulled it so aggressively as if I'm stealing from him. I took the cube and started solving it. I completed my attempt. Parachute was opened. I landed. First thing I did was ran to my parents, hugged them because, you feel good to be alive again. I never knew if I would return back. Now the Guinness World Records guidelines were all followed. They checked it. And the target this time was to solve it in 30 seconds. And the video was being reviewed. Until mom, dad was sitting and we all worried what is going to happen. The man walks out with a thumbs up saying, it's a new Guinness World Record. My very first skydive, the target was 30 seconds to solve the puzzle, and not 30, but I ended up solving it in 24.22 seconds. Now what I did is, I know this has gone to history now. This is something that probably I would never do again. Skydive was scary, but at that time I just wanted to make a comeback. I pull out the national flag that I had taken along with me. I posed with the aircraft, and that picture circulated on the internet. Throughout my journey, there have been like multiple ups and downs. There have been setbacks. There have been triumphs, there have been good points, there are negatives, everything altogether. It was a complete roller coaster. What I've observed is that most of most of the challenges that are there are not really roadblocks in your journey. They are more like opportunities for growth. All the failures, all the rejections, all the disqualifications, show coming to a stop, all of this I used to push my limits and redefine what was possible. Today, I would like to encourage each one of you to embrace your passion, no matter how unconventional it may seem. Be persistent, be confident, and always remember that success is not the final destination, but rather the transformative journey it takes to get there. Thank you all.